Hi, this is Ellen Piquet, and now we are entering in the International Doll House, and there's a lady there explaining the history of this International Doll. Actually, it costs 20 pesos for you to get inside.
Before entering, we must take our shoes off. So, barefoot.
Come in.
Alright, you guys.
Hello, Ali.
Hi.
Good evening. Hello.
How are you?
Good evening. Welcome po. Sir. Good evening, sir. Ma'am, ma'am. Ano pangalan niya, ma'am? Okay.
I'm just about that house. Here I will tell you some stories about the dolls that we have and some details that were along with them when they were bought. So we classify the dolls according to the similarities that they have, and also we classify them from the different countries that they came from. The first one we have here is the classical and vintage dolls, and here we can find a favorite doll of the owner, and that is Anne over there. The one with the long hair and the white nightgown, the one that's sitting over there, Anne. The comment we hear most from the people about Anne is that she's a very scary doll, but in fact, she's just a very lonely and sad doll. She's a daughter of a multi-billionaire. Anne is a daughter of a multi-billionaire, and she doesn't have a mother. She only has a very busy father who doesn't have time for her. And since they are multi-billionaires, she was not allowed to go out of her own room when she was still a child. So she studies inside her own room. She eats there alone and plays there alone. That's why she somehow wished to be able to go out of their house. She's very sad. She's very lonely. She doesn't know a lot of people except for her father and her personal maid. There was this program before in Europe. It gathered children from all around the world who wants to have a doll that looked like them. A replica. And Anne went there. She begged her father to let her go just for one day, for the last time, for the first and the last time. And that was the program. She went there, and then she was asked why she wanted to have a doll that looked like her. And then she answered that through the doll that looked like me, people will know that money can't always buy everything that's permanent, especially the happiness of a person, because she was never happy. And until now, or I don't know if she's still alive. We also have Anna Katharina over there, the Russian doll at that part. She's a Tsarin from Russia. So back in her time, there was no government, only the Tsars and Tsaras, the rich people. And then she's one of the most famous Tsars back in her time, Anna Katharina. We also have our only stone doll over here. That's the Indian storyteller Indian mother. The Indian mother carrying 4 Indian children. It is carved from stone, and it took 3 weeks for the creators to finish it. It was found in Navajo, USA. It was very hard to find. It took 3 days for creators to find it. The rest, we have dolls over here that are showcasing or showing us their classical attires back in the 1800s, 1700s, and so at that portion. So these are classical dolls, vintage dolls. Then over here we have the collection dolls and fairy tales. Move on to this part. Here we can mostly find collection dolls. Some of them dolls that we know of. Jack and Jill over there. And we also have from the fairy tales collection Rapunzel, Little Red Riding Hood, Goldilocks, Cinderella, Snow White, and Sleeping Beauty. The rest are collection dolls. And we also have over here Gloria, the African child. The one who created her was the one who created Anne. So by far, they are one of the most expensive dolls here in the International Dollhouse. since the one who created them was very well known, and when he creates a doll, it's very expensive. Also, he's well known because he copies the face exactly as how it is. Also, she uses, he or she uses the hair of his or her model. So the Anne over there has the hair of the real Anne, and also over here Gloria is having the hair of the real Gloria. So yes, and also Gloria was not in the program. When the creator went to Africa, he or she found Gloria to be attractive. So he or she made her a model for a new doll that he or she would make. So we move here to the Asian group. Here we can find dolls from the different Asian countries, showing us their cultures and also their traditional attires. Here in the Chinese line, over here, we have these Chinese dolls. These pair over here are made from special Chinese paper. This dancing pair over here. The one beside the wedding attire, Chinese couple. These are made from special Chinese paper, and they're kind of expensive also. So we also have over here at the top, we have the Indonesian dolls. They are called in their country wayang golek. They are traditional shadow puppetry dolls, and these dolls are roamed around the streets of Indonesia so that they would announce to the people that they are going to have a new performance that evening. It would last until 4 or 5 in the morning because they need to perform it at night. They can't perform the show at day. We also have here Kimi dolls from Japan. These dolls over here, they are called Lucky Dolls from Japan. Their latest Lucky Dolls. I believe they created it with a special ingredient that they said that whatever the meaning of the name of the doll is, it would give luck to the person holding it. So if example, the name of the doll is Yuki, which means snow. They said that during winter time or whenever it is snowing, you would receive the most luck. That's what they believe. So if it means Tomo or somehow the name is Ai, which means love, they said that you will find luck in your love life or so. That was how they believed it, the Japanese. So they believe in lots of things. So we also have here traditional attires from different countries: Korea, Singapore, Thailand, also in India. We have here the 2 Japanese baby and the Chinese doll, the 3 babies in the middle. The one who created them was also the one who created Anne and Gloria, so they're also expensive, these ones. And we also have here Shireen from Bali, Hindu. She went to the program that Anne went. If I recall, her story was like this. When she was still 6 or 7, there was this conflict between Bali and Indonesia. It wasn't really well known, but they have their own conflict. And people from Bali need to stay at one place, and Indonesians need to stay at Indonesia. But Shireen was from both nations, so she was under the custody of the government, and then she was asked to choose to go with her mom or her dad. And once she chooses, she will not be able to see the other one anymore because I think that was a problem with racism or so. That's why she was very sad. And also, I heard that her eyelashes over here, some of them were taken from the real person. So she's kind of like more expensive than Anne, I think. So we also have here Liliana from the doll makers, and then have one made for Liliana. So we also have here the next group, Russian, Bulgarian, and Hungarian dolls. Here we have lots of babushka dolls. So internationally they're called babushka dolls, but in Russia they call them matryoshka dolls. Matre from the word matryoshka means mother, and the reason for that is because of the function of the dolls. You place the smallest one inside the next one, and then inside the next one, inside the next one, until they are all inside the largest doll. So that is how they portray how a mother embraces and unites her family together. as one. That's why it's called Matryoshka dolls. But originally, the idea didn't came from Russia. They just adapted it. The idea first came from Japan, but then Japan abolished the idea. They went for another kind of dolls. So they are now the ones that have the title of. They are ones now that are trademarking the babushka dolls, Russia. We also have here the Hungarian dolls. These are the favorite of the husband of the owner. So Werner over there. These are his favorite dolls because he said it's very detailed, not like the rest of the dolls that are made quickly and then they just emphasize things. They didn't put too much details. Because the Hungarian dolls that we have, they have 3 to 6 pieces of clothes inside them. Despite being a doll, they really place detail correctly in the dolls. So let's move on to the next part. We have the European group, the same as the Asian group here. These dolls are also showing their clothes are wearing what they call this necessary accessories in their time. Here we have from Schwarzwald, Germany. You see those ladies with red balls on top of their hats? Only single ladies can wear them back then. So if you're a single lady, you need to wear them. But if not, you need to take them off. So
Actually, it was they had black ones.
they had black ones.
Yeah, so the unmarried ones had red ones, and the married ones
Or
had
the
black
black
ones.
ones. We don't have the black ones, so I only know about the red ones. Yes, so yeah, so they need to wear it. We have a picture of a lady that's wearing one actually outside. And then we also have here from Poland, these ladies over here, the 3 ladies, one with fair skin and 2 with very white skin. So they have this rule before that if you are a rich person or if you are a royalty, you need to have very white skin. So you need to put on a lot of chemical if you're a king, queen, or a princess, duke or duchess. But if you're not, you're just the mediocre ones, or you would have to stay with your fair skin. You don't have to be so white. They have that before. And we also have here the first 3 dolls in the collection. Marken Holland and Volendam Holland, these 3 dolls in the center. The clothes that they're wearing is from their religion. It's based from their religion. So for people from Marken Holland, they wear blue, red, and white. Those are the Protestants. And here from Volendam Holland, the ones wearing black, white, and red are the Roman Catholics. I think that they need to distinguish which is which before, because if we think back, racism was a very severe problem. So, and the rest of the dolls that we have here are wearing their traditional attires and so. So let's move here.
These are actually awful.
So we have here the clowns and stuffed toys. Here we are featuring the place Teddyland in Chinaje Platte, Switzerland. So Chinaje Platte, I heard that it's a very significant Alps in Switzerland because the snow that's covering the mountains would never melt. I don't know if that's really, but that's what they said. We also have Teddyland. It's a rotating restaurant located there at the top. It's a rotating restaurant and it's filled with teddy bears. Switzerland. We also have here harlequins and clowns. Clowns in the Philippines are mostly known, but harlequins, we don't know much about them. Harlequins are female clowns and they're much more well known in Denmark than in other countries because some said that harlequins are much more funny and less scarier than clowns, which are much more scary than funny. Most people say that. That's why most children, they don't go near this part here. They go to the Barbies. Let's move here. Here we have the Barbies International. We have 2 most expensive Barbie dolls in their collection. There are only 2 of them that are more expensive than the others. That's the golden Barbie and the Barbie style. They are the only porcelain Barbie dolls that we have. The rest are made out of pure rubber from Mattel. So they're kind of expensive. And then we also have the original Barbie over there at the top. That is one of the first dolls released by Mattel. We were able to get a hold of one that was bought 25 to 27 years ago, I think. That doll over there. We also have Filipiniana dolls. And we also have dolls here. We also have a doll here that is displaying their unique culture in their country. That South African Barbie doll over there at the top with a lot of necklaces here. They call those coils. Those coils over there need to be 1 foot long because they have this belief that every year, if the child ages, they need to add another coil until it reaches 1 foot long, because the longer the neck is, the more beautiful you are. That is their unique culture in their country. The rest of the dolls that we have here are wearing traditional attires or so. So, one of the reasons actually that the dollhouse is here, so that people would also know about the cultures in the different countries, and also for their different traditional attires, and also for entertainment for the children. So that is all for the dolls. I don't know much about this part here, but we do have vintage car, and these collections came from, Itika collections came mostly from England, Paris, and India. I don't know about the other countries where they bought them, but the cars, there's one vintage car, and also a vintage motorbike over here. The rest are modern cars, and we also have a miniature Ducati of the winner. I don't know much about that winner, but this was his bike.